In the quaint village of Tempora, the rhythm of life was dictated by the majestic clock tower that stood tall in the town square. Within its intricately designed dials, time seemed to weave its magic over the villagers, guiding their daily lives with unwavering precision. The clock tower was more than just a timekeeping device. It was a symbol of unity and tradition, a beacon that connected the past with the present. In this village lived a young boy named Milo, known for his insatiable curiosity and lively imagination. Milo was particularly fascinated by the clock tower, spending hours gazing up at its imposing structure, wondering about the mechanics that made it tick. One fateful morning, a peculiar stillness settled over Tempora. Birds paused mid-flight, streams ceased to flow, and even the gentle breeze seemed caught in an eternal moment. Bewildered villagers gathered in the town square, their eyes fixed on the clock whose hands now stood eerily frozen. Panic emerged amidst whispers of enchantment and doom. Amidst the chaos stood brave little Milo. Unlike the others, his curiosity burned brighter at this newfound mystery. He looked at the frozen hands of the clock and sensed a challenge, a puzzle yearning to be solved. With a determined nod, he took upon himself the quest to investigate the inexplicable halt of time. Milo scurried home through the motionless streets, rummaging through his collection of peculiar gadgets and tools. Equipped with a magnifying glass and a trusty journal, he darted towards the tower. Upon entering the tower, Milo was engulfed by its towering gears, each more magnificent than he had ever imagined. He climbed the winding staircase to reach the top, where the vast machinery lay still. Though daunting, to Milo's discerning eyes, each cog and spring spoke a silent language. As he probed deeper, he discovered a mysterious, glowing gem lodged within the clock's mechanism. It emitted a faint hum, almost as if it pulsed with life itself. Milo instinctively reached for it, and upon freeing the gem, a surge of energy swept through the clock. The hands of the clock jerked to life, ticking back into motion. Below, the village awoke from its standstill as if a spell had been lifted. Jubilant cheers erupted in the town square as life resumed its ceaseless flow. Milo, hailed as a hero, stood atop the tower, holding the gem whose intricate glow now mirrored the time it had momentarily paused. Milo had always been fascinated by the workings of the great clock tower in the center of their village. Its mechanisms were a mystery to many, but not to him. He spent countless hours at the tower, observing the intricate dance of gears and cogs that marked the passage of time. Little did he know that the tower's perfect harmony was about to be disrupted. One crisp autumn morning, Milo climbed the winding staircase as sunlight filtered through dust-speckled windows. He reached the top and immediately noticed something was amiss. The gentle ticking of the clock had ceased. He searched and soon discovered that a crucial golden gear was missing. In its place was an old, yellowed note that read, "Find the gear in the Cave of Echoes." Without hesitation, Milo packed a bag and set off on a quest to restore the tower's rhythm. The journey to the Cave of Echoes was perilous, winding through dense forests and across rocky terrain. Milo, however, was determined. His mind was filled with stories of the cave's enchanted nature, a place where whispers lingered and shadows danced. Upon reaching the mouth of the cave, a shiver ran down his spine as the air filled with the sound of faint, melodic echoes. Inside, Milo navigated the labyrinthine passages guided only by the echoes that bounced off the damp stone walls. Each step echoed as if 1,000 parallel worlds replayed his journey. At one point, he stopped, entranced by the sound, and heard a singular echo that did not belong, a rhythmic ticking. Following the sound, Milo stumbled upon a hidden alcove, where the golden gear lay nested in a bed of glimmering crystals. He realized those who came before had used the gear to amplify their whispers, believing it granted them foresight or perhaps connection to another world. Milo carefully retrieved the gear, and as he did, the echoes quieted, leaving a silent reverence in their place. He hurried back to the tower, where he skillfully replaced the gear. With a gradual smile, he watched as the mechanical symphony resumed, the great hands of the clock nudging back into motion, marking the return of time's unyielding march. Milo's discovery had not only restored the clock, but also left him with a newfound appreciation for history's whispers and the interconnectedness of time. The village celebrated his return, hailing him as both mechanic and adventurer, for he had bridged a gap that spanned far beyond the cogs of a clock. Milo, a young and adventurous treasure seeker, stood at the mouth of the Cave of Echoes, clutching a crumpled map and a flashlight. The legend had captured his imagination, a mystical golden gear hidden inside the labyrinthine cave, a treasure passed down through stories. At first glance, the cave appeared ordinary, with stalactites hanging from the ceiling like teeth. But Milo knew better. Each step into the cave amplified noise into a symphony of echoing sounds. This, Milo realized, was his first challenge. The map in his hand revealed that solving a series of sound-based puzzles would lead to the hidden chamber. With a determination to find the treasure, he attuned himself to the sounds, treating each echo as a clue. His first puzzle presented itself when a series of clay pots lined the path. Each pot was a different size, and tapping them produced a unique tone. The map hinted that the pots held a secret melody to open the door beyond. He closed his eyes and listened, replaying the natural song of the cave in his mind until he heard it, a sequence of notes hidden in the ambient noise. Relying on his memory, Milo tapped the pots in rhythm, and the sound resonated through the corridor. A heavy stone door groaned open, rewarding his sonic intuition. He proceeded with caution, using his ears as his guide. Deeper within the cave, another test awaited, a narrow passage that required Milo to mimic the resonance of a high-pitched whistle. As the shrill sound echoed, the walls slowly parted, allowing him passage. Finally, Milo reached the chamber of the golden gear. Bats, disturbed by his presence, flapped around in a chaotic cloud. The cacophony of their beating wings threatened to overwhelm him. Remembering his previous trials, he realized this was the final challenge. The bats responded to sound. He clapped his hands in a rhythmic pattern, directing them away from the pedestal that held the golden gear. Milo approached the golden gear, his heart pounding not only with the thrill of discovery, but also with the echoes of his journey. Clutching the gear, he understood that the Cave of Echoes was not merely a test of solving puzzles, but also of listening deeply to the world around him. In the heart of the quaint village of Eldenwood, there stood a majestic clock tower, its hands long frozen in time. The village had come to a standstill ever since the colossal gear within had broken, and every villager felt its absence. People ambled about in a dreamlike state, unsure of the hours that slipped past them, as if waiting to awaken from a collective slumber. Among the villagers, there was Milo, a meticulous young man with a passion for mechanics. Milo had spent years learning the intricate details of the great clock's machinery, and his heart ached each time he passed the silent tower. On a mist-kissed dawn, with resolve woven into his every step, Milo entered the tower. His hands carried the precious new gear, crafted with precision under the skilled guidance of Master Arlene, the village's revered blacksmith. Milo's arrival at the base of the clock was met with a scene of silent grandeur. The ascent to the clock's heart challenged his focus and determination, each step a testament to his dedication. Upon reaching the central mechanism, Milo's fingers worked deftly, navigating the vast network of gears. With a deep breath, Milo fitted the new gear into its rightful place. It clicked smoothly, as though it had always belonged there. The machinery hesitated for a moment, as if awakening from a long slumber. Then it happened. Ticks began to echo in the tower, one after the other, growing into a mighty symphony of time. Outside, the villagers paused in their tasks. The once missing rhythm returned to Eldenwood. Time, its flow restored, brought a cheer that rose from every corner of the village. The clock's hands resumed their dignified march across its face, and with it, life in Eldenwood danced to its beat once more. Milo descended from the tower, his heart full of pride. He was met with smiles and gratitude from the villagers, who hailed him as their savior of time. To Milo, it was more than restoring a clock. It was breathing life back into the soul of his village, reminding them of the beauty of each moment and the promise of every tomorrow. In the quaint village of Eldeglen, nestled between rolling hills and dense forests, a singular structure stood as its crowning glory, a majestic clock tower with time-worn stones and a spire scratching the heavens. The tower, an emblem of constancy, had been the heart of Eldeglen for centuries, regulating the rhythm of life in the village. It was said that the tower's clock, with its ornate hands and intricate gears, possessed an ancient magic that safeguarded the town. Among the villagers, Milo is known as a dreamer with an insatiable curiosity and a penchant for adventure. Although young and somewhat impulsive, his heart brimmed with courage, and his mind was sharp as any blade. His frequent escapades through the forest and beyond the known paths of the village were subject of many tales told in whispers and laughter at the village square. One summer's evening, as shadows stretched long and the first stars twinkled in the sky, a peculiar event ensued. The clock tower, usually steadfast and faithful, suddenly halted. Its grand bell failed to chime the evening's 9 o'clock. Panic rippled through Eldeglen as elderly folk fretted and children wondered aloud, what will become of our time? Milo, with his unyielding bravery, stepped forth amidst the gathering villagers. I will climb the tower, he declared, determination echoing in his voice. His choice of action was met with worried clucks from mothers and stoic nods from wise elders. Clutching a lantern and a bag of some modest tools, he ascended the spiraled staircase leading to the heart of the great clock. Inside the clock's chamber, Milo discovered a twisted coil and a stubborn gear, derailed from its course by a malicious vine that had grown untamed. With nimbleness and focus, he set to work, freeing the gears and untangling the coil with patience and ingenuity. As he adjusted the final cog, the clock whirred back to life, its hands swinging regally back into motion. The tower's bell rang forth with clarity, a harmonious resonance cascading across the village and stars that seemed to glimmer in approval. The villagers erupted in joyous cheers, hailing Milo as their hero. In gratitude and recognition, the clock tower's ancient keeper, a wise and kindly presence, presented Milo with a pocket watch. Take this as a token of our trust and faith in your courage, the keeper spoke solemnly, his eyes twinkling with a mirrored light from the village. From that day onwards, Milo was known not just as a daring boy with dreams, but as Eldeglen's timekeeper, a guardian of magical moments, celebrated and remembered for his bravery and cleverness.